walk you through that process. Are you concerned at all for your safety?
No, sir.
Okay. If the person has been in pretrial confinement, you'd let the victim know that the suspect's in pretrial confinement, or if they were not in pretrial confinement, released somehow. Additionally, I want you to know that you have a right to provide an election as to whether you'd like this to be adjudicated on the military side or civilian side. Do you have a preference?
Military.
Military side. All right. Now, there's a very long process for the military justice prosecutions. We generally start with getting in the investigation, we review the investigation. If it looks like there's a reasonable likelihood of success at trial and we have probable cause, we're going to prefer criminal charges. Preferring criminal charges is just a fancy way of saying pressing charges. After we prefer criminal charges, from that point to the trial itself is typically about 4 months. So I want to let you know right at the beginning that sometimes it takes a little while to actually get to trial. But as we move towards trial, there's several different hearings. It starts out with an arraignment. An arraignment is informing the suspect of the charges against him and his rights as the defendant in a federal crime. After that, we have a series of motion sessions, where lawyers argue legal issues like suppression of evidence. It all builds up to a trial. Generally, what I'll ask victims is I'll say, do you ever watch courtroom dramas, or have you ever seen any trials on TV? They always have, and I tell them it's not nearly as dramatic as that. And that we're going to adequately prepare them so that there shouldn't be any surprises on game day. After that, what I'll do is I'll cover the specifically enumerated VWAP rights. Just so that you know, we have a private waiting area for victims of federal crimes. I also want you to know that we can provide assistance with parking, childcare, or employer notifications, so there shouldn't be any reason that should be keeping you from testifying if you choose to. There's another one I'm forgetting. But I would have my form in front of me, so I'd be fine. And then at the very end, if this is a case that you think there's a good chance that you're going to go to court-martial and you really want the victim to be on board, don't ask them questions the first time you talk with them. Just give them the rights and then try to establish rapport. So where are you from originally?
I'm from Brooklyn, sir.
Yeah? Did you join the Navy right out of high school?
Yes, sir.
How was that?
I regret it.
Yeah, the Navy can be hard. Obviously, she's a non-compliant witness. She doesn't like the Navy. I'm just kidding. Ellen Fomore loves the Navy. Anybody who knows her knows that. But establish some rapport during the first time. If not, then what you should do is just immediately transition into the interview after that. If you think there's a good chance that the case isn't going to make it to trial, then ask them questions during the VWAP, just so you can knock out any inconsistencies right then, which can confirm that it's not a good case. Otherwise, the first session should just be rapport building, leading up to a second session, which will be the actual interview. If the victim decides that they don't want to participate at court-martial, then we provide them a victim declination statement. I think that's fine for now. Victim declination statement